Why would the IRS need millions of dollars worth of guns and ammo?
Well, Joe Biden is raising taxes, disarming Americans. So, of course, they are arming up the IRS like they're preparing to take Fallujah. Like you mentioned, 5 million rounds of ammunition, 4,500 firearms, automatic weapons, and $731,000 of taxpayer money spent this year to quite literally weaponize your government against you.
Yeah, the IRS. So they did a fact check. This is just a local News 19 website. But they said, did the Internal Revenue Service buy nearly $700K in ammunition in early 2022? Says yes. Scroll down. Answer true. Yes, between March 1st and June 1st, the IRS ordered about $700,000 in ammunition, a spokesperson confirmed. And this is also in wake of the IRS adding agents. Now, this is going to be done over, my understanding, 10 years. So it's not going to be tomorrow they're going to add 87,000. But if you look at the legislation, at least the most recent version I've seen, they have 2031, 87,000 budgeted to hire 87,000 more gradually over that time. So they're buying more guns and ammo. I don't know if all those agents are going to retire. It looks like they're trying to expand government power. What do you think about these type of news stories?
I mean, that's exactly what they're doing. You're expanding the federal government, and the IRS. I mean, this is the Internal Revenue Service. These are the people that are in charge of taking, getting our tax dollars. And so so when I look at a lot of these issues and things that come up, most of it revolves around the issue of taxes, because that's the Marxist game plan. The Marxist game plan is they want to control the means of production, and that means control your wealth. They want their wealth redistributors, right? They want to redistribute wealth. So one of the things I looked at is when they started the whole defund the police movement, right? Well, it was like, okay, why are they defunding the police? Is it because the police are racist or the police are doing bad things and this and that? But then you started to look, and you got to think with the Marxist viewpoint, right? So my agenda is, if I'm a Marxist, I need to control the wealth, and that's the government doesn't make money; it takes money, right? And it takes it from the people. So when you look at city budgets, let's go down to the local level of city budgets, and you start looking and saying, wow, in major metropolitan cities, the police departments make up 40% of the budget, sometimes half of the budget. Like, this is a major chunk of a city budget. And if I'm trying to redistribute that wealth, and the whole point of redistributing wealth is so that I can own it, meaning if I now to take some of that money from the police department and invest it into housing, then I can control the people through the housing. Now, because there's a phrase that I use this all the time, it's he who pays the piper picks the tune. If the people are paying for it, if the government is paying for it, then the government can tell you what to do with it. And so what they want to do is take that money from the police and then redistribute it into other areas, housing, education, all these different other things, avenues that they use, and then they'll be able to tell you what you can and can't do. They'll have different stipulations on what you can and can't do. We already seen that housing, like with Section 8 and things like that in public housing, that you couldn't have certain offenses, like criminal offenses on your record in order to get that. These are just prerequisites to other things, because what you're going to see happening now is they're going to be political views are going to be used against you to where you can't get access to these funds. So that's the whole point of all this. So when you expanding the IRS only tells me that they want to get more tax dollars because they want to have more control. That's where the control comes from, is controlling your wealth. You can control a lot of different things, but when you start playing with people's money, that's the easiest way to get them to comply. We saw that happen just recently with the vaccine mandates and things like that. People complied with it because they didn't want to lose their job. They didn't want to lose their job, and these are just prerequisites for more things that are going to come. So when I see the IRS expanding and the federal government expanding, it's really simple in what they're trying to do. They're just trying to get bigger and have more control and more power.
Yes, B. Deering says the IRS are no joke. They're targeting people that donated to 45. That is the concern. We had that happen. I don't have that story pulled up to go into the details, but a while back that happened under Obama, where there was the IRS scandal. And they admitted, well, it was the Tea Party at the time. They admitted, I would have to bring that up. They admitted to going after the Tea Party, and Obama had to kind of come out forcefully against that. So that's exactly what your concern was there. When you look at the kind of the impact of this, the IRS does not go after rich people like they do lower to middle class, because rich people, they have a bunch of lawyers, and you don't want those problems, even if you are the government. It's just not a good cost benefit. So what you're going to see is, this is from, guess who tweeted this? This is from Marjorie Taylor Greene. So you wonder how I came from this channel. When I started this channel in 2020, I supported AOC. I was still blue-pilled. And then now I'm like, I'm MAGA, at least MAGA-ish and libertarian-ish. And MTG is probably one of the biggest figures in MAGA, says the Joint Committee on Taxation, Congress's official tax scorekeeper, says that from 78% to 90% of the money raised from underreported income would likely come from those making less than $200,000 a year. Only 4% to 9% would come from those making more than $500,000 a year.
You know what? To me, it really doesn't matter whether they're going to go after the rich or they go after the middle class or go after the poor. What it's about is just giving them that power to do so. So a lot of these things they sell you with we're going to go after the rich, and so the people consent to it. And then really what they did is they now have the power to go after anybody. You know what I mean? It's always the people that make it. They always trying to sell it to people. So it's always going to be the least desirable that they're going to sell you on. And in reality is you've just given them that power and that ammunition to be able to do so. Once the IRS has the power to audit anybody and go after anybody, they're going to do it, and they're going to do it for their political opponents first and foremost. Trust me, they're not going after people that help them and are in favor of expanding the federal government and making it stronger, because that's exactly what the problem is with people on the other side, people on our side. We don't want that. And so I mean, it's almost to a certain extent, if you're working for the IRS, and here I am talking about we need to defund the IRS, we need to abolish the IRS. You know, you got 87,000 people working for them, or what they want, that are going to be saying no. And these are going to be low-level people, middle-class people like us, but that's their job, that's their livelihood. So, that's what they're going to go after first and foremost. It doesn't make sense to think that you would destroy yourself.